Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Session Talk, where we are collaborating with Branch Politics to break down bills that are going through the Georgia State Legislature. We know that there are a lot of bills, and we're very fortunate to have people like Alexi Jenkins join us from the Branch team to help us better understand what's going on. Welcome, Alexi.
Thanks, Hannah.
And thank you for being here as always. Y'all know Alexi is very accomplished in her own right, of course, serves as an analyst and the head of Branch's legal department. So we're really just glad to have her here to break down some of the bills. So today we're going to go through a few bills. Lexi, we'd love for you to take it away and tell us what's happening inside of this building right here.
Sounds good. So the first bill I wanted to talk about today is HB 437. And this is a bill, it's a House bill. It's already passed the House and it's being considered in the Senate. So what this bill would do would be to require that all gas stations with self-serving pumps have an attendant on staff who can help Georgians with disabilities pump gas if there's the need for them to do that. So currently, there's the federal law, the American with Disabilities Act, that covers accessibility and types of accessibility issues like this with gas stations, but it doesn't apply to all types of gas stations. So this bill would expand it so Georgians with disabilities are more protected. It's kind of limited. It would apply to Georgians who have a special disability permit, are driving the car, and do not have a person over the age of 16 without mobility issues or blindness with them to help them out to pump gas. So it'd be in situations where people are really stuck and need assistance, then they could call inside the gas station, and the gas station would be legally required to have somebody on staff to help them out.
And I can certainly see how this could help people living with disabilities. But what are people who oppose it saying, and then people who are further supporting it saying?
So it has some bipartisan support. There has been some limited opposition from some Republican representatives, but it did pass the House of Representatives by a vote of 142 to 17. So relatively broad support for the chamber, and we will see how it fares in the Senate.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And this is why these are so important. Legislation impacts every aspect of our lives, right? And when you even think about just going to the gas station, that's something that legislation impacts, right? So what about the next two bills, Lexi?
So the next bill is SB 107, and it has also passed the first chamber. So this is a Senate bill, so it passed the Senate first, and now it's being considered in the House. It has to do with probation. So it would allow former offenders to be released from probation early. So probation is the period after the period of incarceration when you're under supervision by the state. How strict it is really depends upon the sentence, but it can restrict like where you can go, who you can interact with, if you can leave the state, if you can move. You have to check in with your probation officer at certain times. And Georgia actually has way higher probation sentences than other states. So 40% of all probation sentences in Georgia are longer than 10 years. So this bill would address that. It would kind of set up a process and speed up the process of people ending their probation sentences. So after 3 years, probation would be up for review, and the Department of Community Supervision, which handles probation, would be able to determine if the individual under probation was eligible to have their probation ended. And this depends upon a set list of factors that are included in the bill, and it includes whether they've paid all the restitution, whether they've complied with their probation, or had it rescinded, and whether they've been arrested for anything other than a non-serious traffic offense.
I mean, that's definitely major impacts with criminal justice reform, So if this is something that interests you, y'all, we really want to encourage y'all to do some research around this. Email lawmakers if you support or are in opposition, because your voices really do make a difference in this. And if you are joining us, please let us know. What city are you tuning in from? What state are you tuning in from? Or, give us a thumbs up if you appreciate these lives that we've been doing. We've been doing this every week. So very just thankful to be a part of this community and help keep everyone informed about, again, all the bills that are taking place and going through this gold dome behind me. What about the last bill, Lexi?
So the last bill is another House bill, same status, passed the first chamber, it's moving into the second chamber now for consideration. So this is HB 353, and this has to do with rules around bicycle usage on the roads. So basically it would create rules that drivers have to follow when passing bicyclists. If there are multiple lanes, the driver would have to move into the other lane before they pass. If there's only one lane, the driver would either have to slow their speed to either 25 miles per hour or 15 miles per hour less than the speed limit, whichever is higher. And the really interesting thing I think about this bill is that if drivers do not follow these new procedures, it would actually be considered a misdemeanor with a fine of up to $250. So not a very big fine, but it is significant to point out that it would be a criminal legal issue.
These are very serious bills. They would impact people in various ways that I think is important to know as the general public. So we can't thank you enough for bringing this information to us in such a digestible way. Anything you want to add, Alexi, before we break up today?
If people want to learn more, there is a ton of legislation moving through both chambers right now. We're seeing a lot of activity. Some bills are finally getting passed and signed into law. So it's the perfect time to stay informed and get your voices heard by your representatives. So you should all definitely subscribe to Branch. And we have these updates coming in every morning right into your inbox.
Are joining us, please make sure you subscribe to the amazing Branch newsletter. Every day they send you information about bills that are going through the legislature. So please make sure to subscribe. There's a link in the caption. And until we meet again, we wish you all just a safe week and just sending you all positive vibes during these times. Thank you, Alexi, and thank you everyone for joining us.